Here are a pair of Fasco intercoms from the 1950s. If you've been watching my channel for a while, the design of these intercoms should look pretty familiar to you. They were apparently built in surplus cases from the Sylvania Thunderbird. And they are at least as rare as the Sylvania Thunderbird. I don't really collect transistor intercoms, but I made an exception for these very nice looking Fasco intercoms. Probably the best looking intercom that I'm aware of. I just got the pair of these working yesterday, actually. I had 3 of these things, and I built 2 good ones from that. I'll show you the guts of the remaining one in a little bit. I'm going to plug them in right now. I'll show you why I don't like to leave them plugged in a minute. That's just feedback between the microphone of the one and the speaker of the other. It doesn't actually use a true microphone though. It just uses the speaker as a microphone, which works reasonably well. When I've got them far enough apart that they don't go into feedback, the fidelity is not great, but you can definitely understand what people are saying. It's only a 4 transistor intercom. These were built in Rochester, New York, and they are, quote, current carrier intercoms, which means they send an RF signal over the AC power line, which is then picked up by the other units. I'm not quite sure what the CT means on this one. The chassis on this one is also from a set that was marked CT. That may have been how they coded the frequencies. I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably going to write CT on there carefully with marker, just to show that they're the same. I had picked up one of these a while ago, and then I recently got a pair of them. I'm going to unplug them real quick. Now, one feature it's got is if you press down the talk lever and then lift up this lock, it'll hold it down in the talk position. Although you really would not want to leave it in there for very long. And I'll show you why. Here's the guts of one of these units. I'm probably going to part this one out, since the case is pretty rough and the circuit board's pretty burnt. This thing does not use a transformer. It just uses a resistor to drop the voltage down. Now when you're using the talk feature, it draws 4.5 watts. This is only a 5-watt resistor. When you combine that with this thing being in an enclosed case with pretty much no ventilation, the speaker blocks the only vent, a lot of heat builds up. You can see the board is pretty scorched. It's also really not great because it's cooking this selenium rectifier there, as well as the, I believe, line bypass capacitor there, this paper cap here. You can see some of the capacitors were replaced by me, and I was trying to find which one of the 3 boards works the best. I saved the best 2. Here's the bottom half of the case. You can see it's burnt there. And the top is even worse. See, it's melted away there, and there's a lot of soot built up in there. Guess that's burnt plastic. The speaker is 40 ohm, which is a little unusual. Considering there's a output transformer there. It may have to do with the fact that they're using it as a microphone as well. Maybe that's why they did that, to improve the sensitivity of it. Don't know for sure. I have the original manual for this set. It came with the single unit. This was in there as well. I believe it came off of the box. I love how they say, have no fear of excessive heat or power consumption. I would say this kind of shows that you really should be afraid of that. I definitely won't be leaving these things plugged in. They must have just emitted like a burning plastic fragrance all the time. Don't have the service notes for this thing. There's no crystal in here, so I'm guessing frequency was changed by replacing some capacitors and resistors. Or maybe just adjusting the coils in here. Their choice of transistors is kind of unusual. There's one RCA transistor here. That's pretty typical for something American made. And then there's these SFT brand transistors. These are actually French transistors. Why they use these is beyond me. I mean, the thing works well, but I guess they got a deal on them or something. Just seems odd that they'd import transistors when they were, you know, plenty being made here in the U.S. The switch has a lot of contacts because it, you know, has to switch the thing over from, you know, being a receiver and amplifier to being a, you know, microphone amplifier and transmitter. The one switch was really dirty, and it was a pain in the neck to get it all cleaned up well enough to work correctly. One thing that's different on this unit than the other ones is this variable resistor here is just a fixed resistor on the other two. That's not the original plug there. That's what the original plug looks like. I guess the plug on this one got damaged. Well, I think that's all there is to show on these things, so thanks for watching.